We are in the heat of the season for the steelhead and salmon fishing, and we're curing up all our eggs right now. We are at the tail end of the eggs, which means we are getting a lot of fish that started sucking water up. These are mostly Chinooks, cohos. Since that's what we're only allowed to sell, that's what we offer. Um, they're starting to suck water up to help spit the eggs out. And right now, I'm getting a mixed batch of naturally water hardened eggs, which the fish are water hardening in their stomachs. And I'm getting some skein, and I'm getting some nice loose eggs that are falling off the membrane inside the fish. So I got a bunch of different stuff. I kind of wanted to show you guys the process, show you what I'm working with. I do have some fresh, uncured stuff. I don't like to really have that stuff for more than 24 to 48 hours because it's just loaded with bacteria and it's in a constant state of decomposition the moment that it leaves the fish. So I wanted to kind of walk you guys through everything I do. I get a lot of questions on it. I'm going to kind of flip the camera around and walk you through, show you what I have, show you what I want the end product to look like, and we will take it from there. So I'm sorry I haven't checked in. I've been incredibly busy. I got lots of new projects. We got some new floats coming out pretty soon. We got some incredible split shot. I believe it's some of the best in the world. We have all the different sizes. We got all kinds of different eggs, different cures. We just mixed up a fresh batch of chrome cure. And sorry about that. That was Jimbo from the shop calling. So I'll have to end this pretty quick in case someone's at the shop looking for something. Or he could be calling me about something totally stupid. That's Jimbo for you. But let me show you guys what I'm working with here, and then I'll walk you through the process a little bit. So these are skeins right out of the fish. And as you can see, unfortunately for me, the way I get these eggs are they're angler caught, and they are so the fish are being eaten. None of these fish are being wasted, which is absolutely awesome. And rags to riches. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. If I didn't have you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. So big shout out to y'all. And I don't know how these live videos show up. If you can like the video, that would be awesome. If you noticed, I just reached in, I picked up a little shell. I am so like anal about this. I got some people that want uncured eggs, and I'm sitting here right now and I'm wiping the eggs down to make sure before I sell them they're uncured eggs, which they should be doing this. I mean, I expect to do this when I harvest a fish, but I'm wiping down all of the eggs to get any sort of foreign objects off of them. The eggs will last a really long time if you get all of the objects off of them. What we're looking for is any little like specks of blood or any shells, broken shells that trap blood. So you can see here, it's hard to see with the black gloves, but I just picked up a small piece of, I don't know if that's like a part of a membrane or what that is, but it's coagulated blood. So what I'm doing now is I'm kind of going through these eggs, and you got to change your paper towel constantly because the shit will start falling back into the bucket. But this is a shell. It's hard to see, but this is a shell that has blood trapped inside of it. And these things are sneaky because what they'll do is they'll actually like stick onto another egg because they actually have the exact same shape. So like you'll see an egg and it looks fine, and these will sometimes be clear, but what they'll do is when you cure them, the cure can't get around the egg, and you'll have like an area of the egg that is trapped with some of this blood, and you'll get some early spoilage. So all of these eggs, I don't like to cure them hard enough that they'll last in the fridge like infinitely. I try to add more flavors and stuff like that to the cures. And give you something that I know is super effective, that's tried and true. I pretty much use Chrome Cure for everything. We just mixed up a new batch of that. I thought I brought a bucket in. Oh yeah, the bucket's underneath here that I'm going to use for the garbage. So I'm going to bring these over to here. And this is going to be my garbage bucket here. All right. So this is a really nice clean batch of eggs. This is how I get them. These are the freshest ones I have. But as you can see, as you go further down in the bucket, that's where the blood rests and sits. So you get all these beautiful eggs on the top, but once you get down to the bottom, they start looking pretty bad. So I have to wipe these all down. I have a video from a few years ago that that I showed how I do this, but I don't. My goal is to not rinse these off with water. Some guys want them water hardened. That's the guys that buy the raw ones. They can do that, but I really want to give you an egg that's as soft as possible. You can harden them up if you buy the eggs from me and you want them a little harder. You could simply air dry them. That makes them hard. A lot of times, what I like to do if you get them and they were frozen and they're sitting in juice, what I like to do is I like to pull the eggs out of the juice with a spoon, and then what I like to do is save that juice, and when I'm done tying up my bags, I pour the juice on the eggs, and what I end up getting is I'll actually pour the juice on the eggs, and I'll leave the egg sacs in the refrigerator on a plate open. So if your wife allows you to do that, or you're a single dude like me that just has his own house, you can do it anytime you want. But that allows all of that really yummy juice and nectar to like absorb into the eggs. So you'll get egg sacs that milk real slowly, rather than if they're sitting in like a liquid juice. You take a couple casts and they'll milk out pretty quick. You can, like, I try to have the eggs where you could pierce one of the eggs and it will drip out like the nectar. So what I try to do is I try to concentrate the nectar of the egg inside the egg, which means I kind of sweat the egg off a little bit, and then while it's curing, and I try to get rid of some of the moisture. So so basically the internal is like a really concentrated nectar. So you can see just from me touching this with my gloves, that's what I pulled out. So this is an incredible amount of work to get this done here. But everyone in the shop keeps calling me. I might have to end this pretty quick here. But I at least wanted to show you guys what I got going on. This is the end product that I'm hoping for. These are just chrome cured egg wiped down. That's kind of most of the product I sell. What I'm going for is when you pick up one of these eggs, you should see how easy that broke. I didn't even have to put any pressure on it. That's the goal of these. Like, when you're tying these, I want them to break pretty easily. We have this really awesome product. It's called Row Wrap. It's like 0.021 millimeters, so it's really thin, breaks really easy. We have a 0.042 millimeter, which is like a medium. And then all the rest of the companies, they use a 0.08 millimeter thread is what they offer, which it seems like it breaks and ties really easily, but once you use our row wrap, you'll see how easily ours ties these softer eggs. So, get on this site and order some of that. That stuff's awesome. I've been trying to throw in some samples in with the guys that are ordering eggs, but if you do want some eggs that aren't processed, we do have some right now. I got a few guys picking up uncured eggs today. And we'll have those at the shop. But, yeah, I just kind of wanted to show you the work that went into these. Yeah, it does look like boba. That's what my daughter always says. But you can see, like, the skeins here, I'll kind of just give them a quick blot to clean them right now. And then what I'll do is when I scrape these, if I do scrape them, you would want to scrape them in this direction here. So you would flip the eggs down, face down. You want the eggs to be at room temperature, which these ones are not. And then you would want to scrape from this side here towards the tail of the skein. And as you can see, like I could probably get some off with my pinky. That one broke, unfortunately. But if you have a spoon and you worked on this membrane, the problem is if the skeins are too cold, when you scrape them, the eggs will pop, and basically the membrane needs to soften. So the membrane that holds all the rows of eggs, as you guys can see, there's just rows of, I don't know if I could get a good shot of this, but like that's why they call these row. Like here's a row. You can see all these rows there. So it's like a book of pages. It's like pages of eggs. But you really have to get these things to room temperature. A really common problem I hear when guys make a big mess when they're doing their eggs is they don't bring them up to room temperature. That is crucial to do. So if you're looking at this skein, you have the skein that kind of comes to a cup on one side. You want to do it on the tail of the skein, which would be right back here. If you end up when you're cutting the fish's belly, if you end up slicing the skein, that's all right. Just, try to work the spoon along the membrane here. I'll try to grab a spoon in a little bit to show you guys, but I know there's some scraping videos of me and the guys at the shop doing this if you really want to check it out. But you can see these eggs just kind of fall off, but they would work way better if this was room temperature. You'd be able to get them off really easy, and then you could cure them however you want. The one thing I will say with skein is no matter what, no matter how good you work the spoon down and take these bloodlines out, as you're scraping them, the eggs will have like a micro like coating of blood on them. And when they get this micro coating of blood, the only way to get them off is to like put your eggs in water. And what I'm telling you is I always try to avoid that. So I will scrape these eggs. I'll put them into a bowl. I'll put the chrome cure on them and I don't put them in the bowl until I get all the eggs off of the membrane. And then what I do is I'll take like a piece of paper towel. Let's say that this was all the eggs. I'll kind of roll this around. I'll roll all the eggs around like so. You can see there's some here. These are off the skein. So I'll kind of roll those around. Let's say there's hundreds of eggs. I'll pick up any sort of foreign object. And then at that point, I'll put them inside of a bowl. You could put them inside of a cup and cure them. I typically like a Tupperware. Something, let's say like something like this here. So it's more shallow Tupperware. You can put the eggs in this. And with the chrome cure, what you do is you just sprinkle it on like you're salting a steak, and then take a plastic spoon and roll them around. The one thing I found very interesting is a lot of the caviar purists, they don't like metal to touch any caviar because they say that the eggs leach some of the metals out of the spoon. And I've known forever to always scrape eggs with, I actually use a really nice silicone spoon that works good. It's a little tougher than most spoons, most silicones, so it works really good. But a good old plastic spoon works awesome. They sell ones that, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Yotality, but those are some really nice spoons. I don't have one here to show you. But I am going to work on this for a little while. I'm going to get back on here to show you guys some of these processes. And then I have to call back the people at the shop, so I'm gonna have to do this in 2 videos. But I will show you quick. Like this is again, this is like the eggs I showed you in the bucket. My allergies are killing me. I am not doing too good right now. And as I'm rolling them, here's one of those shells right here. And you can see that's a broken egg. And when it was sitting in the blood got trapped. And this will cup onto another egg. And that is what you don't want. So this is definitely, that goes in the garbage bin. And I'll just roll these. Now these look nice and clean, but you can see I'm just picking up little bits of foreign matter. And these eggs are weird because like I told you guys, like some of them are water hardened in the fish. Some of them are fell off the skein. So you're kind of getting like a blend of like harder eggs, softer eggs, it kind of all different. Which is got its pros and its cons. If I can, that is why the scrape is nice because you're getting a consistent egg. I mean, people love these eggs, but when we freeze them and we sell them, all of the immature eggs that let's say fell off the skein, a lot of time those ones will pop in the freezer when they expand, and that's where the juice comes from. So you guys that get your eggs and you have juice, that stuff is really good nectar. Like you don't want to throw that stuff in the garbage. That stuff you want to keep, and what you want to do with that is, like I said, once you have your egg sacs tied, you want to pour that juice that's in the bottom of your container over top of your egg sacs, and you could either let them air dry on the counter or you could put them in the fridge without the cap on the container, and basically it will stick to the egg sacs and go in between the netting and the eggs, and you'll get like an absolutely incredible bait that will outperform everybody. I had a friend, I was blessed to fish the Salmon River, and I had a friend that bought eggs from egg sacs from the best shops there that are known for having really good eggs. And he didn't catch a single fish on any of those eggs. And I almost feel guilty selling these to people because it took me so long to learn this trade and technique. And you're able to buy these eggs, and it might seem pretty expensive, but you guys, like I have hours and hours and weeks of work, and the amount of driving that I have, it's absolutely incredible. So we're shipping these all over. I actually am shipping some to California. Guys are sturgeon fishing with them. I'm gonna have to send him. He wanted some raw eggs, which I don't know how I'm gonna ship raw eggs to California, but I'm gonna do 2-day air, of course. I'll have to pack it really good. I did ship one time a whole 50, not 50, but a 5-gallon bucket to Canada, and it got there good. But what I did was I dried out the eggs like this, and then I boraxed them, and he was able to basically cure them. He put the eggs into a colander and he shook them, and all the borax came off, and then he was able to cure them with whatever he cured them with, salt, sugar, whatever, mind you. But once he did that, he got a really good egg. So you can, I don't know if you consider borax and air as a cure. I never have, but that is a good way to preserve the egg. My problem with not adding salt to the cure, or some sort of sodium, is that your egg will turn whiter quicker when it's being fished. So yeah, you definitely, in my opinion, you definitely want to put some sort of salt, or you could just have all the best stuff and a formula that I've developed over 20 years. It's right on our website. It's called Chrome Cure, and that stuff is phenomenal. Sorry, I'm not pointing the camera here, but I'm picking out any of these shells that I find. The white shells are no problem. I just don't want to find any of the red shells. And when I get these buckets, there is so many. Um, there are so many like other fish body parts in them. I don't know if I could show you guys here, but it's hard to do this and hold the camera. I got a skein down there I could see, but you never know what you're going to get in these buckets. They're harvested fish, and they are so they're all being eaten, which is awesome, but they're harvested fish, and you kind of get what you get. And I take the time to make sure I give you guys this incredible egg that will fish well year after year. We have skein as well, which I cure with a few different commercial cures, and then I add some of my own custom stuff to it. The other enemy here is right here. There's a little pebble, and these pebbles are my enemy too, because when people are dragging the fish, they pick up these pebbles, and then what ends up happening is you freeze this, and then this little pebble just pops eggs so easily, even though it's so small. It being harder than the eggs around it, every time it touches an egg, it pops it. So I look for those, try to get those out. But I will come back to you guys here pretty soon and show you the process here, and kind of what goes on. Every once in a while, I'll get some nice bagged eggs like these. So this is a whole separate fish. So what I'll try to do is I'll try to, scrape this and sell this in one container. If it ends up, that looks to be like about a pound of eggs right there. So I'll fill up a pound with those. And yeah, so like this stuff here, this is really, because this stuff is, it's eggs that are immature that fell off the skein, and because there's some water hardened eggs that were water hardened in the fish. Again, I'm not putting any water on these. Like, the whole goal of my curing process is to not rinse these, which if I rinsed them like I'm sure every other company does, I would be able to wash them and clean them easily, but I just don't want to sacrifice the quality. So I will not wash these eggs. And Duke, what's up, buddy? My friend Orville down at the bottom, he actually provides me with some awesome dried sand shrimp and coon shrimp and all kinds of really cool stuff. And really good customer that turned out to be a really good friend. So shout out to my boy Duke. But hope you have some good luck today, bud. Well, I hope the fishing is really good in your area. We finally got some rain. The fishing is great in New York. Sadly, I have to do some dad stuff today with Halloween, and I got to get these eggs cured up, get them ready to ship out on Monday. And yeah, that's my life, guys. So I appreciate you guys all stopping by the shop. I love each and every one of you guys. I couldn't do this without you. And I will be back live here pretty soon. I'm just going to call back the people from the shop, and we'll work on these together. So, all right, much love, guys. Tight lines.